It all begins with a quiet neighborhood, the kind of place where families expect safety and peace, expensive homes, tall trees, and clean sidewalks. But sometimes, even the calmest streets can hide the darkest secrets. That's exactly what happened in this case. A case that has left investigators, neighbors, and fans of a rising young musician in complete shock. This is the story of Celeste, a 13-year-old girl whose life ended far too soon, and the mysterious events surrounding her connection to singer D4vd, whose real name is David Anthony Burke. Celeste's story starts long before the headlines. She was a young girl, only 13, full of life, hope, and the kind of dreams that all kids her age have. People around her say she was kind, soft-spoken, and had a big imagination. But somewhere along the way, her path crossed with someone much older, someone who was not supposed to be a part of her world in this way. David Anthony Burke, a musician who had quickly risen to fame with his emotional songs and unique sound, became a central figure in her story, not because of music, but because of what investigators later found inside his Tesla. The world first learned about Celeste after her disappearance. She had been living with Burke for over a year, far away from her family. Many believed she had run away, but those close to her never accepted that story. She was only 13, and something about her disappearance didn't make sense. A private investigator, Steve Fisher, was one of the first to look deeper into the case. He didn't believe this was a simple runaway situation. He said that calling her a teen runaway was misleading. At just 13, Celeste was still a child. She could have been manipulated or convinced that the things happening around her were her own choices, but Fisher believed that wasn't the truth. He started asking the questions that others had ignored. Why was Celeste in that house? Who allowed her to live there? Why didn't any of Burke's friends speak up and say, "This girl is too young to be here"? The more he investigated, the darker the picture became. When authorities finally discovered a Tesla parked about 150 feet away from Burke's home, everything changed. Inside that car were the dismembered remains of a young girl. Later, those remains were confirmed to be Celeste. That single discovery turned what many thought was a missing child case into a full criminal investigation. But there was something even stranger. The Tesla, according to Fisher, had once been Burke's daily car. He used it every day. It was always clean, well-maintained, and parked properly. But when the car was eventually found and towed, it was filthy, beaten up, and had visible body damage. It looked like it had been driven off-road in the desert. There were dents, dirt, and a huge mark in the back. The contrast between how he normally treated the car and the state it was found in raised serious suspicions. Neighbors said the car sat there for days, possibly weeks, before anyone called it in. In that neighborhood, people are protective of their property. Mansions worth millions line the street, and any abandoned or dirty car stands out. When one of the residents finally called authorities, they didn't know they were about to uncover something this horrific. They just thought it was a neglected vehicle that didn't belong there. Fisher later revealed that the last time the Tesla was seen being moved was July 29th at around 11 a.m. That same evening, Burke left for his world tour. To Fisher, the timing was too perfect to ignore. The car was moved one last time just before Burke left town, almost like someone wanted to delay the moment it would be discovered. Investigators now believe that move might have been a way to buy time, keeping the car hidden just long enough to avoid suspicion while Burke went on tour. Even though Burke has not been charged with any crime and remains innocent until proven guilty, the circumstances have left many people questioning what really happened. The case, now being closely followed by both local and federal investigators, has layers of mystery that continue to unfold. Experts on the case have discussed the evidence in great detail. Many agree that while the timeline alone doesn't prove guilt, it does raise serious questions. The move of the car,
the timing of the tour, the state of the Tesla, all of it points towards something deeply troubling. And then came another shocking detail. Investigators discovered that the Tesla wasn't the only luxury car in Burke's possession. He also owned a clean red Tesla that remained spotless and parked safely in the garage. The contrast between the clean, untouched Tesla and the dirty, damaged one was haunting. It made people wonder, why keep one car pristine while abandoning the other in such a terrible condition? Reporters covering the case noted how unusual it was for a man living in such an expensive neighborhood to leave a car looking that way, especially when that same car would later become a crime scene. Some neighbors said the car had been parked in front of their homes for days, looking abandoned, which eventually led to the Department of Transportation towing it. As the investigation deepened, more disturbing facts began to surface. Detectives confirmed that there were security cameras around Burke's mansion, both outside and inside. However, when law enforcement reviewed the footage, they discovered that some of the smoke detectors in cameras inside had been covered. It was unclear who covered them, when, or why. LAPD confiscated the DVR system and all the footage, but so far they haven't publicly shared what was on it. Investigators also searched the home's drains, in the bathroom, the kitchen, and even the laundry area, looking for traces of blood. They removed pipes, looked down with flashlights, and collected evidence. That process was fast, but thorough. Photos later showed officers leaving with a computer, small items, and other materials that could hold vital clues. Forensic experts say that drain searches can reveal things the human eye can't see. Small traces of blood, hair, or fluids that could link a crime to a location. While no official results from the drain searches have been released, the fact that investigators took that step shows how seriously they are treating this case. Private investigator Steve Fisher has reportedly also collected video footage from nearby homes, doorbell cameras, and local security systems. One of those cameras captured the Tesla being moved. He claims he clearly saw the driver's face that day, but he has not revealed who it was. That information remains undisclosed, possibly to protect the investigation. Meanwhile, public attention turned toward Burke himself. Fans were stunned to learn about his possible connection to the case. His music, often emotional and moody, suddenly took on a different tone when people looked at it through this tragic lens. His merchandise line, which included shirts with the phrase "bloody" on them, came under heavy criticism. Many found the timing and imagery disturbing given the situation. Eventually, all that merchandise was pulled. Some people online spread false rumors that the shirts were somehow linked to the victim's blood, but those claims were completely untrue. Still, the damage to his image was already done. PR experts say that Burke's team should have acted sooner, that the shirts should have been removed immediately after the first report surfaced. One public relations expert compared it to other celebrity scandals, saying that Burke was still in the early stages of his career and probably didn't have the right people advising him. Inexperienced teams often fail to act fast when crisis strikes, and in this case, that delay made everything look even worse. As the story grew, more shocking information came out. Investigators reportedly found farm-style tools in Burke's home, items that seemed completely out of place in a modern Los Angeles mansion. While police haven't said exactly what those tools were, it raised questions about their purpose and whether they were relevant to the investigation. Reporters also confirmed that some drains in the house were tested for possible blood residue. The process was quick, but experts say that in-depth testing could take weeks or months before results are known. And while all this was unfolding, people noticed something else. Burke had not made any public statement about Celeste's death. He hadn't offered condolences, attended her funeral, or said a single word about the tragedy. For someone who had lived with her for over a year, many found that silence disturbing. Psychologists say that when someone remains completely silent in a tragedy like this, it often raises suspicion, even if that person is innocent. Dr. John Delator, a forensic psychologist, said he found it strange that Burke didn't attend Celeste's funeral. He explained that if he truly cared for her and had her best interest at heart, he should have shown up, offered condolences, or expressed sorrow. His absence, according to the expert, sends a message, whether intended or not, that he's avoiding responsibility or emotional connection to what happened. At the same time, legal experts remind the public that there might be reasons behind that silence. Lawyers often advise their clients not to speak publicly during an ongoing investigation, especially when the person might later become a suspect or witness. Anything said could be used in court. And Burke has, in fact, hired one of the most powerful defense attorneys in the country, Blair Burke, who has represented high-profile names like Harvey Weinstein, Lindsay